On Saturday, November 2nd, starting at noon, Kevin Williams is helping sick kids by playing video games. He needs your help to raise $1,000 for the CHIO Foundation. Donate at extra-life.org/participants/347-875.
Lights, camera, action. Cut!
Welcome to Ropes to Reels, part of WrestleMedia, where everything is wrestling, and wrestling is everything. This is episode 94, X2, X-Men United. Do you know what that means, listeners? That means we are 6 episodes away from episode 100. Looking so forward to it. I'm at Adam Conta.
I'm just Jenny.
Yeah!
Full of rage.
Oh boy, you're like Wolverine, because Wolverine gets a berserker rage.
You know how Wolverine, I think this is like Wolverine headache movie. Because he's like, remembering, and he's like,
Okay.
This is my headache movie as well, okay. Wolverine.
We're reviewing X2, X-Men United, and there's a very important reason why you're on this episode, Jenny.
Because I hate it.
Well, specifically because you asked to be on the episode.
I did. Because I hate it.
You actually said, long before we announced Superhero Month 2, the reviewing, that you said, if you ever review X2, I want to be on the show with you guys.
It's funny. And I got this mindset. I was listening to like Ariel's with System of a Down. And when this came out, I was a big System of a Down fan because I was in high school.
For those who don't know the song, could you sing a little bit of it for us?
Ariel's in the sky. I don't know the other words.
Perfect.
Pretty perfect, right?
That was great. It was right on. Spot on.
Yeah, so it put me back in that whole, like, how much I hated this movie.
You really don't like this movie, and you're like, I just want to get on there and talk about how bad it is, so...
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Leave that out. I'm so sorry.
I've never had to... You really hate this movie. You're like,
oh, where's Drew? Where's PG-13 Drew? I'm sorry, that slipped out.
You just really hate this movie.
I'll calm down.
It's all right. Okay, Take a big deep breath.
The one thing I like about these movies is they were shot in Canada.
They are very Canadian, as a matter of fact.
And they had a lot of Canadian like actors, like background actors, and like.
Well, it's funny you should mention that, Jen.
I
was gonna wait and hold off on doing this, but it seems like the perfect segue. So let's jump right into it, because we do ask a very important question at the beginning of every single one of these shows. Jen?
Oh.
This is the part where you ask, what does this have to do with wrestling?
What does this have to do with wrestling?
Right, but,
It's my first time! You're popping my cherry.
Oh, God, that's so wrong.
It is.
If only I was a cherry poppin' daddy, then I would feel okay about it.
Oh, my God.
There's a reference for you.
Is it?
Don't you remember Cherry Poppin' Daddies? They were like a huge thing back when like swing music was popular for like a cup of coffee.
I'm sorry, what was swing music?
Like Zoot Suit Riot, and you don't remember when those songs were like #1 on the radio and
if
stuff?
This was like in my goth period, then no.
Okay, that's fair. You're right. That's a fair assessment.
You gotta catch like preteen Jenny teen pop music. And it goes right into, like, metal.
Just a sharp turn.
There's, like, no in between.
Sharp left turn.
Yeah.
So, normally what Drew does on the show is he comes up with either some sort of alliterative question or something that relates to the actual movie. Did you want to maybe give it a try and see how you do with it? So, it's... So
Can you give me an example?
Okay, so an example
All right.
would be in the... Oh, goodness. See, it's tough. I'm putting you on your spot. I realize now that it's a very difficult thing. You should have told me this
earlier.
Okay, so...
I'm just kidding. I'm not putting you
So what in the blue teleporting mutants does this have to do with wrestling? Because Nightcrawler is a character in the film, and he is a blue teleporting mutant. Yes. So he would come up with something like that. Much better than that, though. Yours, I expect yours to be better than that.
No, don't, because Jenny don't think on the spot. My listeners know that. Jenny gets weird. You
can get weird. That's fine. We don't mind weird here on Ropes to Reels. So think of something about the movie.
Oh.
I can't believe this is part of the show right now. Take a character. Pick a character. I don't care which character.
Pick a character.
Let's walk through the process of creating a question with Jenny.
All right, well, let's pick Mystique because
Okay.
it's, Rebecca Romaine.
Okay, so
Beautiful.
Rebecca Romaine is absolutely beautiful. She transforms into several different characters in this, and she does several different things in the movie as well. In fact, one of the scenes we're going to bring up later is she stabs a man in the butt with a syringe full of iron, right?
He was iron deficient.
Is that the line she uses?
No, I don't know. I don't remember. I just... I don't know.
So maybe it would be... what's the opposite of an iron deficiency? An iron overabundance?
Sure. Overabundance.
Oh! So then
That's my question.
So you would ask, what in the iron abundance?
What in the iron abundance does this have to do with wrestling?
And there we are. Now
Okay.
we're there. We got there. Thank you very
It
much.
only took an hour.
And that's the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for the review.
Credits? No.
Well, Jenny, what this has to do with pro wrestling is a man named Mike Rosselli, who is a pro wrestler out of Vancouver, British Columbia, who did stunts on the film and was also an extra for the WWF occasionally.
And that goes back to my Canadian
Exactly.
extras and-
That's how we were all tying it all together.
Yep, there we
right?
go. Yep.
Now, I'm not going to be out in Vancouver anytime soon, but I tell you where I will be, Jen. Me and WrestleMedia will be at Cottage Country Comic-Con at the Mariposa Conference Center in Orillia, Ontario this Sunday, and we won't be there alone. We got the crew from Northland Wrestling joining us, Dan Pagozzo, a.k.a. Dan Jarris, owner and professional wrestler for the company, as well as Adam Andrews, the general manager of Northland Wrestling, will be with us. We'll be giving away a family pack of tickets at our booth, so come by and see us after you're busy visiting Hall of Famer Greg the Hammer Valentine. Yeah, Hammer's going to be there.
That's right.
Hey, do you remember when you were a kid, there were these commercials for a lawyer named Jim the Hammer Shapiro?
I think so.
Because he's Jim the
Yes!
Hammer Shapiro. 1-800-546-7777. 1-800-546-7777. I'm an SOB, but I'm your SOB. You remember these commercials?
Yeah.
They're great. That has nothing to do with Greg Valentine,
okay.
but he's going to be there.
Okay.
Saturday, June 15th. Jen, you're coming to Kingston.
That's right.
You're going to be there at Chinlock Wrestling and House of Hardcore's Legends Convention and Chinlock 5 event from the Leon Center in Kingston, Ontario. Just try to list off some of the names that are going to be there, Jen. You know some of the names.
Mark Henry.
Mark Henry's going to be there. You're very excited about Mark Henry.
Mr. Butt.
Mr. Mr. Iron Deficiency himself. Billy Gunn.
Oh,
Billy Gunn's
man.
going to be there. Bret Hart. Who else?
Oh, man. Oh, my God. I'm blanking. And it's like right.
Here, I have these written down.
No, there's one I'm looking for in my
Oh,
brain.
okay.
Jimmy Hart. That's it.
Yes.
Because I had a World of Warcraft character named after him, and then
What?
obviously I'm not good at that character.
You had a World of Warcraft character named after the Mouth of the South?
Yeah. It was an undead rogue.
Why would you?
Because a lot of my things were undead. Because,
And that made you think of wrestling?
No, I just wanted new, names.
Oh, okay. So you were like, what's a name? Jimmy Hart.
Jimmy Hart. And I like names that make people think I'm a dude.
Okay.
I like that.
Fair
Because then
enough.
if I ever have to talk, they're just like, you're not a dude.
So wait a minute. Why weren't you just Jerry when we started our show?
I should have been just Jerry. If I was a boy, my parents would have named me Jeffrey. So I should have just been just Jeffrey.
Which would have been no, because we already have enough confusion with two Drews on this network.
true.
I don't want confusion with two Jeffs on the network, okay?
Yeah, that's true.
Unless you spelled your name like Geo.
No, I'm not French.
Okay, then. We'll forget it. Point is, Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard are going to be in Kingston. That's the whole point of that rant. As well as Tugboat, Swoggle, Jimmy Corderas, Tommy Dreamer, and a whole lot more. Your girl Madison Rain is going to be on the show. Mm-hmm. She's also going to be on our show later this week. Madison Rain is going to be a guest on Women Crush Wrestling, which you can listen to every Monday here on WrestleMedia.ca, unless, of course, you're a patron. In which case you can hear it on Saturday, 2 days earlier. And if you want that privilege, head over to patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca. Put a few ducats in the bucket and get that early. Also, get a lot more because, we double up when we go to Patreon. Patreon gets the whole thing.
Right? And I feel like we're a fun crew.
We are a totally fun crew.
We
are the kind of crew you want at a party.
Right?
I mean,
invite us to your wedding. That could be a Patreon level. We'll show
up at your wedding.
Yes.
That's crazy enough that I might do it.
Do it.
That would be kind of amazing.
Do it.
WrestleMedia wedding package.
Yeah. We don't do anything special. We just come, maybe do a toast about wrestling.
I'll do a video on it. Like,
Oh,
I'll
yeah,
make it
there
like
you
a
go.
road trip video about it.
There you go.
We interview the bride and the groom for a podcast.
Yep.
Like, we'll do a total podcast in the style of one of our shows based on your choosing.
Yep.
So, like,
On your dance floor. We'll be right there live.
like, if you want your wedding full of cursing and adult language and situations, Mike and Danny will do the, like, commentary. They'll be, like, the MCs of the best men. Or if you just want us to talk about, like, the top 5 things that you love about your partner, and the Drews can do that from We Have Till 5. There's a lot of options there, I think.
It's a good idea, right?
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I love it. We're also going to be at Queen Street Entertainment's live pro wrestling event from Renfrew on Saturday, June the 29th, featuring Cecil Nix and Addie Starr, your future wife, the woman you want to marry.
Yes.
Against Shane Saber, who's a wrestling pirate, which I love, and Alexia Nicole, who you may have recently seen on Impact Wrestling. It's going to be a star-studded night. Make sure you get your tickets now for that. And also, if you want to get some tickets to, say, I don't know, that Chinlock show we were talking about, there's an easy way to do that. In fact, there's one way you can do that, and that's to sign up for our monthly newsletter. Our weekly newsletter. I've decided we're going to do that every week. Over at WrestleMedia.ca, it'll keep you up to date with what's happening at WrestleMedia. And, of course, that aforementioned contest, 2 floor seats to the Chinlock Wrestling House of Hardcore show in Kingston, Ontario, June 15th. Pretty good prize, if you ask me.
Very good prize.
Get to hang out with us.
Floor seats.
It's like a party.
Yeah.
If you want, get married that day at the Leon Center. We'll already be there.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a way to work around the Patreon.
2 birds with 1 stone, right?
Get them. Go get them birds.
Whoa.
Nothing weird about that at all, but it
Nope.
just sounded weird.
Sounds very weird.
All right. Why don't we actually talk about the movie now?
Yes.
Let's get into the high spots of the movie. We're going to go through it scene by scene.
High spots.
You know what a high spot is?
No.
Okay, so a high spot,
I'm so new to this.
it's okay. A high spot is a wrestling term for like a big moment in a match. So I'm trying to give, like, there's tons of great examples. So, like, remember, like, Shawn Michaels fought The Undertaker at WrestleMania 25.
Yeah.
And The Undertaker did that dive over the top rope and landed on his noggin and almost killed himself. That's a high spot.
Okay.
Because it's like a big moment where it's a high point for the match. So it's a high spot.
All right.
Supposed to get the crowd excited. So
What?
yeah.
Woo! High spot!
So we're hitting all the
Okay.
high spots in the movie here. So we start off with Nightcrawler doing his best John Wilkes Booth impression, trying to kill the president. That opens up the movie. Were you okay? So I guess before we jump in, we should ask about, like, your familiarity with, like, X-Men. Like, what's your relationship like with the X-Men?
Heavy.
Heavy.
Yeah, heavy.
It's a heavy relationship.
We've been hot and heavy since I was 8.
Wow.
Oh, I just got
Amazing.
actually arrested.
That's amazing. Woo.
The comics I read a little bit. The TV show was like my jam.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
You were a big fan of, like, the animated series?
Big fan,
I mean, who wasn't?
right?
Right? Like, everybody loved that show. At least I haven't met a person who didn't like that show unless they were a really bad person.
And yeah, right?
If you don't like the X-Men animated series, you're dead to me.
Yep. Same.
Pretty much. There it is.
Yep.
So, when you saw the first movie, what did you think of the first X-Men?
Yeah.
Just kind of
I didn't like it because, like, a lot of their stories weren't correct. And I was like, okay.
And by correct, you mean, like, in line with the TV show?
In the TV show or in the comics.
Right, right.
Like, I know sometimes the TV show did stuff the comics didn't do, but a lot of the time it did kind of cross.
So you were like that person that was like, you're a purist. You're like, it's got to be like this.
I know you can't do it 100%, but, like, it was Rogue that irritated me the most.
Okay, explain.
Because Rogue was had Miss Marvel's powers before
Right.
she even became an X-Men.
Captain Marvel now, right?
Yeah, but it was still Carol
Danvers.
Danvers.
Yeah.
Carl Danvers.
Carl
Dude.
Well, yeah, because as
But
you know, Captain Marvel likes to play World of Warcraft and make everybody
Yes,
think
that's
that
right.
she's a guy. which
That's
is
right.
nice.
We do that because we don't like people messaging us.
So she goes by Carl Danvers.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go on.
So, like, and it kind of irritated me too because Mystique she was, I don't remember how Mystique kind of finds her, but Mystique is the reason why she got Miss Marvel's powers.
Right. Okay.
Because she was working with Magneto and Mystique, and she kind of thought of Mystique as her mom.
Right.
And then she got Miss Marvel's powers, and then I can't remember what happened.
I thought at one point it was revealed that Mystique was Rogue's mother, though.
Could have been.
Because Rogue's adopted, is she not?
Yeah.
So I thought it was revealed that at one point Mystique is the mother of both Nightcrawler and Rogue.
I know she is for sure of Nightcrawler.
You know, we're going to get like 100 tweets from comic book nerds
and that's fine,
X-Men nerds being
'cause
like,
I'm not,
you ignorant iron asses. How dare you?
I'm not claiming I know she used to call her mom. Like, she was like her mom. And then I don't remember, like, I think it was because she took, like, almost killed Miss Marvel from taking her powers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then she kind of joined the X-Men after that.
Okay.
And then this, like, that never happened in this universe.
So, and you were upset about that?
Very upset.
Okay, all right. Well, we did mention Nightcrawler. He's in the opening scene.
Yes.
I love this opening scene. I think it's a really
Get
great
out!
scene.
That's my...
Is that your Nightcrawler?
That's my Nightcrawler impersonation.
It's very good. Can you do it again first?
Get out! I don't know if it was like, German enough or whatever it is.
I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. Yeah. What kind of expectations did you have? First of all, did you see this in theaters?
I did.
Okay. And did you have do you remember if you had expectations going into it?
I did.
Okay.
High,
Which were high. Okay.
I loved.
But what were your expectations? Badoo-dooch.
Yeah. But they were high. But then they got lowered.
Okay.
But I'm going to tell you this. Nightcrawler is one of my favorite characters, and Alan Cummings did him well.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were very happy with Alan Cummings as Nightcrawler.
Exactly. So
what was it? What did he call himself? The Amazing Nightcrawler?
I don't know. I just know when he disappeared, it went bamf. That I named one of my hunter pets on World of Warcraft after.
Amazing.
I'm a loser.
So we're happy with Alan Cummings as Nightcrawler.
He was good.
Very good. So from there, Stryker goes to the president and says, mutants are bad. Give me a warrant to go invade Professor X, his school. Now, obviously, there's some stuff in between there, though. There's the scene in is it like a museum?
Yes.
Where Xavier stops time and everything, and he does that trick. And
because the friggin' Pyro Kid messed up. Well, no, it's Bobby that kind of froze.
You done messed up, A.A. Ron.
Right?
A.K.A. Pyro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, this is a commercial for patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca, where you can get early access to episodes of your favorite WrestleMedia shows, get full uncut and uncensored versions of your favorite shows, and more. Don't want to hear this commercial on your podcast anymore? Sign up at our main event tier and get these episodes ad-free. Want to hear your own commercial here instead of ours? We've got tiers for that too. Visit patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca and join the WrestleMedia revolution today. I like that there is so much focus on the kids in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I like that they took them away from Xavier's school and got a chance to build those characters up. Too bad nothing ever happens to them. Okay.
Exactly.
Moving on. So Stryker comes and he invades the compound, invades the school. We get our first shot of Colossus, which is awesome. Mm-hmm. One of the highlights of the movie for me. Again, we don't really do anything with him in the next little bit. Not till Deadpool anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, so Stryker comes in, they kidnap a bunch of the kids, some of the kids get away, and then, speaking of breakouts, Mystique breaks Magneto out of prison by injecting a security guard in the butt with a syringe full of liquid metal.
Exactly. And, I'm sorry, because he got 3 huge balls out of that. Right? So how did that not
Now, wait a minute, we're not talking about his fortitude here.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Although, Sir Ian probably yes. But I'm just saying.
Wait a minute, are you saying that Sir Ian McKellen is well endowed?
I would hope so. He's amazing. He deserves it.
Oh, he deserves it. Okay.
He's an amazing guy.
You're right. He absolutely
plays a good Magneto.
Yes,
he
of course.
is Magneto.
Yeah.
Move over, Michael Fassbender, who
yeah.
is also well endowed.
But see, and this is the thing. Here's the thing. You don't need to speculate about that.
Everyone's seen it. Everyone's seen it.
He just walks around the street with it. Just no pants.
That's his leash for his dog. Goodness.
Wow.
Yeah. But I'm still he got 3 big iron balls out of this dude. How did not any detectors that they had in that whole facility pick up on that?
Well, because they're at a molecular, maybe not a molecular level, but they're like little tiny particles.
It's so much.
Well, yeah, but you know what, you're kind of mind messing me here. Yes, I never really thought of that before, but I guess But yeah, but they're so small though. The particles are so small.
But they wouldn't form.
Also, though,
big fist-sized balls.
You don't think so?
Not really.
You don't think Magneto could take that much and like stretch it? Okay, here's an idea. The balls are hollow. They're not solid balls. They're hollow.
They're solid balls. Magneto don't make no weak balls. He's a beast.
Oh, God. Okay.
You're never having me back.
Are you kidding me? I'm replacing Drew permanently. Oh, my God. All right, so those spheres, Magneto uses those to break out. It's an awesome scene.
It is very
cool
again,
scene.
he plays a really good Magneto. I've never had an issue with him as Magneto.
He's phenomenal, for sure. Then Wolverine, Rogue, Bobby, and Pyro all show up in Boston at Bobby's place, where he comes out of the closet to his family. Let's face it, that's what the scene is, right? Mm-hmm. And obviously, the X-Men have been coded as gay by many people. Back in the 60s, when they were first introduced in the comics, a lot of people thought of them as an allegory for the civil rights movement. And then later on, a lot of people said, oh, clearly it's a gay allegory, which makes a lot of sense, of course. And given the fact that Bryan Singer is himself a gay man, part of the LGBTQ community, it's very easy to see why this scene is coded as coming out of the closet. And I thought it was actually very clever and does lead to the line, have you tried not being a mutant? Which basically is the film saying, if you didn't know, this is about being gay. It's very in your face about it, which I don't have a problem with, because again,
it gets people's eyes open to it.
Again, I also think that you'd have to be pretty daft not to get that from the X-Men in general, that like, oh, clearly it's a gay allegory, right? So, but I like that scene. I thought it's fun. And is that the scene where Wolverine puts his claws out and the cat licks the claws?
I think so.
Or was that in the first one?
I can't remember.
Me either. All right. The enemy of my enemy. Magneto saves the X-Men. They're about to be shot down, and he saves them because he can control metal. He's got more than 3 balls to go with. And then Stryker, it's revealed his plan is to kill every mutant on the planet by using Professor X, constructing a clone of Cerebro, and using his mutant son Jason to mind control Professor X, and then kill every mutant on the planet. Pretty good plan, if you ask me. Pretty solid plan.
Is the scene when Magneto saves them, is that when he like just catches their plane?
Yes.
And it's just like, how long has he been waiting in those woods for?
All damn day.
It's like
just waiting for his moment.
Exactly. And this is the one thing I love about this Magneto and Charles, is that I feel like Magneto does this stuff so he can rub it in Charles's face. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I do.
Like, I'm not fully bad. I just don't like humans.
I'm not bad. I'm just misunderstood.
Yeah. Play with me, Charles.
You know, I wonder if Ian McKellen ever says that to Patrick Stewart just to bug him.
I honestly love them together. They're adorable.
Like, I almost wish Patrick Stewart was gay so that they would get married.
Right? But I love that they played this role together and they were like best friends.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
And very, not ironic, but just kind of wonderfully coincidental that, of course, Professor X and Magneto, Eric Leshner, are friends. And then, of course, the real actors are friends as well. I think that's very cute.
Yes.
Let's move on to the damn rescue. Jean and Scott save the kids. Wolverine chains Stryker to a helicopter. Magneto and Mystique rescue Charles, then play the old switcheroo. So let's break this down. So Jean and Scott save the kids. They do the whole thing where Jason is mind controlling Scott, and Jean basically saves the day by breaking him out of his spell. I don't remember how she does it. Do you?
Not really. I just know I hate Scott Summers.
Really? Like the character?
Hate that character.
Okay.
I've always
Let's get into
hated
that.
him.
Let's dig into that for
He's
a
just
minute.
like such like a, you know, like the person that would correct your grammar.
You think Scott Summers is a
He's
grammar
that.
Nazi?
He is that.
Okay. I'm not going to disagree with you. I loved Cyclops as a kid. But I thought, but just because...
You stupid!
I will admit, though, freely, it's because I just thought he had the coolest costume.
Did he?
I thought so, as a kid.
I'm sorry. Gambit had the best costume because I went as him for Halloween.
Did you really?
Yes.
I tried to go.
2 years in a row.
I wanted to go as Cyclops for Halloween one year. My mom, God bless her, she tried to always make my costumes, but she looked at it and just like 1990s Cyclops X-Men with like the weird yellow. Well, you know what you saw in the comic or in the TV series, right? Like, and me as a fat chubby kid in that costume, not going to happen. So
I made that costume though.
The Gambit one. Do you have pictures of that? Can you share them?
I don't think I have them. This is the problem with this digital film.
From our generation, right? We just everything is digital now, and we don't we don't have that stuff.
No.
Oh well, we'll just have to picture it in our minds. Everybody, just imagine it for a moment.
Imagine a really awkward 12-year-old dressed as Gambit.
Done.
Yep.
Thought about it.
Yep.
So Wolverine changed Stryker to a helicopter. Stryker says, I'm your only link to your past, but Wolverine says, forget you. I got a new family. I don't need you. Magneto and Mesquite. Skeet.
Skeet.
No, Mesquite. She's like, her mutant power is that she makes everything smell smoky.
Oh, man.
They rescued Charles and then played the old switcheroo. So now Magneto is like, all right, Mystique, you change into Colonel Stryker and tell Jason to tell Charles to kill all the humans. I bet it sounded like, hey, sexy mama, want to kill all humans? Little Futurama joke for everybody in there who's paying attention.
They're not.
No, they're not. They really, really aren't. Sad. Which was cool. The Magneto gets the heel turn at the end, which I thought...
He always gets the heel turn. I'm sorry. That's this thing.
This is the thing about him rubbing it in Charles' face where he's like, ha-ha, I really am a bad person.
Exactly. And then he runs away. I'll see you tomorrow for tea. He like goes into like the bush.
So true.
Right?
It's just like, I know.
Because no matter how messed up his plans are, Charles always talks to him.
Always forgives him.
Yeah. Always.
Charles is always Jesus, and Magneto is always Judas, always stabbing him.
Yep.
God almighty, that's hilarious. He's just like,
true though, right?
It's just like, you're about to kill my team. We're still good for chess tomorrow, right?
Right.
And Charles is just like, yes, now go away. I have to save my team and humanity. He's like, all right, see ya. Gotcha. Jeez, what a jerk.
Yep.
Oh, man. All right, so Nightcrawler transports Storm to where Professor X and Jason are. She gives Jason the cold shoulder, quite literally, by creating a snowstorm that freezes him, gets him to break his concentration. It's never really implied.
I feel like they don't use Storm correctly in any of these movies.
Okay, expand on that.
I just feel like she is a good X-Men. Like, she controls elements.
She's awesome.
And I just feel like they just... And Halle Bailey is like a good person to play her. And then they're like, oh, have this weird accent in this first movie. This movie, she does not have this accent.
No, she does not. She loses her accent
and
completely.
You're just like, well, that is a character turn.
That's a decision.
And...
like, no one will notice.
No
Everyone's going to be paying attention to Kurt Wagner, so it's all right.
But I don't know. I just feel like they make her feel weak.
Yeah, a little bit, eh?
Yeah.
She's only there. It's like, does this need some sort of weather element? Yep. Let's bring her in.
Yep.
I guess you have to do that when you've got like...
That's how... apparently, Jean couldn't get Kirk out of the church, so I guess it had to be Storm making, weather in a church.
Here's my question. Why a snowstorm? Why not just punch the kid in the face?
I don't know.
All right. Just wanted to make sure we were all on the same page with that. I am for child abuse if it means saving humanity.
There you go.
Pyro switches sides. He does a heel turn as well, although he was really kind of a tweener before then anyway.
And I mean, he's not even a main character.
No, but I will say this. I did really like that. I like the fact that at the end of the movie, you had someone who switched allegiances and was like, I think Magneto's right here because, in the real world, people do switch political sides and stuff. They get convinced to go with a different side. So I like the fact, and eventually, of course, if you follow the comics or the show, Pyro is a member of the mutant, the Brotherhood of Mutants, right? So it makes sense. I liked it, so I thought that was really cool. And then the dam floods and Jean dies, or does she?
No,
she doesn't.
Not this one.
Yeah. So they have the big thing, the dam, the big thing where the dam floods. And they can't escape, but then Jean goes out to save everybody, and she sacrifices herself, and everybody's sad at the end. But then we see the lake, and we see the outline of a phoenix, and then the screen goes to black, and we're like, what?
And then they slaughter that character.
just focusing on this movie, though, not anything that would come after it, that was kind of a cool ending.
Yeah. Because this is the thing I hate about these movies, is it gave me hope. Like, you know, when Mystique's in Stryker's lab and she sees Remy LeBeau's name, and I was like, oh my god, Gambit's coming. Finally, because Rogue and Gambit are the best love story, I swear, in this whole universe. And no one's doing it.
Well, no, it's a PG film.
Well, they don't actually. He tries, but she won't.
I mean, like, the idea is, like, she can't touch him physically, right? I mean, they can get around that, can't they?
I don't know, man. They would have to wrap it pretty tight.
I'm saying you could have a latex suit of some sort.
Yeah, but if she
not?
steals his power, she could put too much energy on it, and then maybe it would explode.
It being his lips, kids. This is a PG show.
That's what I didn't say any body parts.
You're right, you didn't. You said it.
Exactly.
Let's talk about the sequel, because obviously the plan was for Bryan Singer to come back to do one more movie, and it's been known for a long time that it was going to be the Dark Phoenix saga. Now, you thought the first one was you thought the second one was bad. What did you think of the third one?
Worst one out of all three, actually.
Okay.
Actually.
And what about the subsequent sequels with
Wolverine?
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah,
like where you see Deadpool for the first time and it's horrible, but it's still the same actor, which thank God.
Which is kind of weird to think about.
Remy was in those movies, though. Gambit
yes, he
was. But
Gambit was. We did get Gambit on screen, finally.
It's not what I wanted, though.
No, I don't think anything about that movie was what people wanted.
No. That was the worst one.
Yeah. I don't know. You might be right on that one. Because I actually kind of liked X-Men 3. Not a lot, but I liked it a little bit. I thought it was fun.
Is that the one with Bishop? Does it start when they're in
No, Bishop is Days of Future Past.
And that one they messed up on, because Bishop's supposed to be part of Cable with Apocalypse.
Yes, right.
And he's not anywhere in that part.
Well, while we're talking about Apocalypse, what'd you think of it?
Horrible.
You didn't like it?
Horrible.
I don't think it was as bad as everyone says it is, but it wasn't great.
I'm sorry, if you can make Thanos look like Thanos,
right?
Apocalypse was too tiny.
Okay.
Apocalypse is huge.
Sure.
I'm sorry.
Now we skipped a couple of those movies.
Good. No, I'm just kidding. The other ones aren't that bad.
Did you like the Wolverine?
No, I don't.
I
the
didn't like
only
that one
Wolverine
either.
movie I like is Logan.
I have mixed feelings about Logan, but I like First Class. I think First Class is the best X-Men movie.
It's not bad.
Oh.
Those ones aren't bad.
Well, what's the best one then?
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
I think it's First Class. A lot of people say it's this one, though.
Oh, my God.
This is why I wanted to have you on, because most people I know, the majority of people I know, say X2 is the best X-Men
I can see how
movie.
they were duped.
Oh, you stupid people out there.
Because, like, I'm sorry, in your notes, Lady Deathstrike's not in there once, and she's a big part of Wolverine's
Well, yeah, but
story.
what does she do in this movie? Like, I mean, she fights Wolverine,
she
but...
meets Stryker, but she's a cyborg when she meets Stryker and teams up with him. So, like, but she's too human when she sees him in this one.
Okay.
And then it's like, are you going to follow the story where Wolverine and her, like, were lovers, and it was her dad that gave him the...
Nope.
Nope,
No,
not doing that. I'm like, okay, was it the other one where she, like, hates him because she thinks that he stole his dad's...
Nope.
Nope.
Not,
okay.
no.
Well, then you know what I mean? Like, why even bring Lady Deathstrike in if she's not going to be...
Because they were like, we need another character from the show for merchandise purposes.
Nah. She was a good character in both those settings.
You know what's funny? I'll get into this in my review here, so maybe we'll just go over that a little bit. Actually, wait, before we do that, there was one other question I wanted to ask, and I forgot to do it earlier. How do you feel about Dark Phoenix, which is coming out? Like, are you looking forward to it? Are you not looking forward to it?
Not looking forward to it.
Like, do you feel like I feel weird about it, because this is like the movie that Singer wanted to do. Like, is this going to be like, is what we see on screen going to be like his version of what he wanted this next X-Men movie to be?
I kind of feel like, because they did Apocalypse, and that was a huge chunk of the series and the comics, where a lot of things changed. There was like the deaths in the future, like Wolverine and Storm were married. Yeah. You know what I mean? And they didn't do that right. So I don't trust them with Dark Phoenix.
Well, a lot has changed since 2003 when this movie came out. Like, Bryan Singer is not the same guy. Like, I'm pretty sure he got fired doing Dark Phoenix, and there's rumors there was all kinds of problems on the set and everything. So, yeah, it's a lot has changed in that time frame. I wonder what would have been if he had stuck around to do that movie instead of Superman Returns.
I don't know. I didn't see Superman Returns. I have not
neither have
seen
I. I've
any
never
of the
seen that.
Superman movies.
You've never seen a single Superman movie?
Just Superman versus Batman, and I regret that.
Well, if you want to hear more about that, go back and listen to last week's episode because we reviewed it.
I almost went on. If I had time to, I was like, I'm coming on that one. And then I was like, oh, I can't do it. It doesn't work with my schedule.
Let's quickly give our reviews for X2, X-Men United. I'm going to say that this is a mid-card film. I don't think it's bad, and I've seen it more than once, and I've enjoyed it. I didn't hate it. I'll say this, though. I'm with you. I don't think it's the best X-Men movie out there. I think it's okay. I don't even think it's the best of the first 3 X-Men movies. I like the first one better than I like this one. But it's fine. There's some good moments in there. There's some good stuff, but it's just okay to me. It's not great. It's all right kind of movie. So I'll say a mid-carder. Not a jobber, not a main eventer. It's a mid-carder. What say you?
Can I use an X-Men reference?
You sure can.
I'm going to call this the Jubilee out of all these movies.
Okay. Care to expand?
Jubilee is like a very useless character.
Well, she makes fireworks.
But not very powerful ones. Pew! The only thing these movies did right is that they were shot in Canada.
Right.
Like, the effects weren't bad. And
no, the effects were pretty good.
The actors, I thought, were pretty correct. Except for I really don't like Anna Paquin as Rogue.
Really?
Rogue is, like, a very strong woman. Anna Paquin, after True Blood, maybe. But this was before True Blood, so no, she's not.
This was pre-Sooka.
Pre-Sooka?
Sooka.
Yeah.
It's funny you said that, what you had said earlier, because I feel like this movie is the closest to the animated series. Like, I feel like this is a story that you would have seen on the animated series.
But they missed, like, where's Morph and, like, I'm sorry, like, Sabretooth was a big part of Wolverine's history. Like, Mr. Creed is supposed to be in there. That's his real name.
Well,
Victor Creed. And he's not. Like, he's just this little useless guy. Like, it's just,
Well, we may talk about that in the second half of the episode, which all of you patrons who are paying us at the mid-carder or main event level above will be able to hear. As for you who are listening to us for free at WrestleMedia.ca, thanks so much for joining us. We're going to leave you here this week, but we thank you very much for joining us on Ropes to Reels. Next week, we continue Superhero Month. We're going to switch things back over to DC with Drew's pick. We are watching Wonder Woman. No, not the 2017 movie that was amazing, by the way. There's no wrestling connection there, but do yourself a favor and go watch it. We're actually going to go animated next week, and we're going to watch the 2011 Wonder Woman that was put out by the DC animated series of films. So there you go. We're going to have that on our plates next week. Watch it and come join us. Thank you so much for listening. Of course, we encourage you to please like and share this podcast, rate it and review it positively, please, on iTunes or any other of your fine podcast providers. Don't forget to subscribe to our newsletter over at WrestleMedia.ca. Like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And if you really want to support us, throw a few ducats in the bucket over at patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca. Until next time, I'm at Adam Conta.
I'm just Jenny.
And when it comes to X2, X-Men United, that's a wrap.
This has been a presentation of WrestleMedia, where everything is wrestling and wrestling is everything.
Here's what you're missing out on right now over at patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca. So on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, Hugh Jackman related a story about something that happened during filming of the Weapon X flashback scene. You may remember that he was naked in that picture.
I want to see that fully.
Want more? Sign up now at patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca.